We good. Hey, shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Chodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, shalom, beloved Akiyam and Akwath. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to tap into a brief live stream, pretty much talking to the situation that's going on over in Venezuela, the tensions between America, and Venezuela. And we know that Venezuela is the leading, as far as demographics is concerned. That landmass has the most oil on it, all right, gold or what have you, right? And this is just a big game, right? Like Esau's always played in efforts to steal resources, man. All right, from smaller countries that they can overpower, bully, and move around. Send his economic hitmen to threaten and But needless to say, prophecy, man. Prophecy's changing the game. All right, the prophecy's changing the decision making. All right, that Esau was once able to make. All right, this is not times past. All right, where Babylon the Great's the head honcho, right? They're the only ones with these state-of-the-art weapons, man, weapons of war. No, man, the game has changed, man. The world, as we know it, all right, via war, all right, has changed, bro. All right, these smaller nations are now in a position where they can defend themselves, bro. You see, and Russia is going to be the catalyst, right, to these nations being able to defend themselves. All right, Russia's going to be a guard unto these nations, man. All right, and Russia's going to constantly be a thorn in the side of Babylon the Great with every decision that they make. Okay, this is the way prophecy's playing out, because we're in this time. We're in the time of end time prophecy, man. End game prophecy. End game prophecy, the final prophecy that's going to take off and change the change the whole change up this whole eon. All right, it's that third world's war, right? The war to end all wars, man. All right, when there's whore, right, and the bear, Russia, collide. You see now, is this gonna cause them to go at it right here? What's going on in Venezuela and Russia, coming into alliance, with old boy? Nah, not necessarily. But what the reality is this is the reality of this is this. Okay, Babylon is in a position where they're now, running around in circles trying to figure out if it's really worth pushing or pressuring rather Venezuela any more than they have. Because as we know, they've been bombing boats, without any clarification if it truly is drug trafficking. All right, DJ Trump's talking about they're gonna just be bombing people and deleting people, right? Regardless of even knowing any validity behind if it's actually trafficking happening. You see? So now you can see Russia stepping in. All right, there's an alliance that has been created between Venezuela and Putin and Russia, man. You see? And this is a strategical one. You better believe it. All right, well, we're witnessing Akiyam and Akwatha's war strategy, man. All right, these nations are setting themselves up to where when it goes down, all right, Babylon will be surrounded. All right, the scriptures tell us this. Matter of fact, we'll start there. I believe that's Jeremiah 50. We'll start there. You see, Babylon. You heard this dude Trump talking about the submarine. They have the submarines. They have some of the most deadliest submarines. This, that, and the third. See, disregarding the reality of the alliances that have been created, not only with various enemies of Babylon, but also with Babylon's allies, man. You see, there's been alliances made with Babylon's allies, man. Okay, allies that we know via the biblical prophecy, even Babylon's allies are going to turn against it. You see, and this is the season that we're in. As a matter of fact, let's get this first before we get that Jeremiah. And I got this little article I want to read. In a video, I got a clip as well. All right, from the elder apostle Tahar. Now, real quick. Let's get this first. Bear with me. Because this is the time we're in right now. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 1. And it reads, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Listen, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace, man. All right, and we are in the time of war. No way to avoid it, right? There's no pushing this day off. All right, this is the time we're in, and this is what we're witnessing now. This is just another building block to that final moment. You see? Let's go right here real quick. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. See, Babylon the Great is detailed clearly, all right, in regards to end time prophecy and in regards to war taking place on this land. Okay, that's how the Lord's gonna clean this place up. He's gonna take it out, but that's how the Lord's gonna clean up. Because fire is a cleansing agent, man. Water and fire. All right, and the way this second death is gonna be executed is gonna be through fire via the Third World War. Right, Jeremiah 50 and verse 9, and it reads, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly, all right, an assembly of great nations from the north country, man. All right, this is talking to Russia and his allies. All right, Russia is in the same location as the ancient Medes, man. All right, that's why they're likened unto the Medes as well. When you read Isaiah the 13th chapter, you see, matter of fact, Lord willing, we'll get that too, because this is their location currently. All right, you have to make this make sense, because when you tap into history, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Medes didn't take out Babylon by war, by fire, and none of that, man. It was just a takeover. See, this is prophecy, man, is what this is. All right, look it. For lo, I will raise the cause up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. Battle formation, right? Against her, right? For then shall she be taken, man. So Babylon's going to be surrounded. Babylon's being surrounded. Hence why Putin is allying with Venezuela. This is a strategic, this is a war tactic, is what this is, man. Okay? Look. Their arrows shall be as a, and it says, look, from thence she should be taken. So Babylon's going to be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain, man. Okay, their arrows, their missiles. All right, that's a buzzword for the missiles. Even to this day, the military coins a missile that's been detonated accidentally or lost, a broken arrow. You see? They coin it still to this day as they coin it a broken arrow. You can look it up. All right, the scriptures are talking to the missiles, man. Their arrow should be as of a mighty expert man, right? None shall return in vain, man. Because ultimately, the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to be on these missiles, man. Not to mention, these missiles are now technologically advanced on a level to where they're non-interceptable, man. They move at such a rate of speed that's so fast, man. The way they enter and exit the atmosphere, man, on you. When they get up into your when they get up into your location. They're moving thousands of miles per hour. You see? Good. They're moving thousands of miles per hour. Bear with me, Aki. Let me just check this feed. Make sure we're good. And we'll keep it moving. Con, we good. Con, we good. And we in there. Yeah, man. So these missiles move thousands of miles per hour. These warheads, excuse me. Most of the missiles just used to get it to its location. All right, because these ICBM missiles, they do exactly what they name. They're intercontinental. So they leap continents. All right, most of it is fuselage and part of its trajectory, you know, to get it to where it's got to go. You see, the power is in its head. All right, when it gets into your demographic and it's making its way out of the back into your atmosphere, okay, that's your ass right there. Because them warheads, they move too quick. They can't be intercepted. You see? They can't be intercepted. This is where technology has gone. All right? And that's the spirit of the Lord. That's why scripture says they should be shot as of a mighty expert man, and none of them shall return in vain. All right? It tells you in Joel, right, when the sword shall fall upon them, which is going into the missile defense systems, none of them shall break their rank. All right? Nothing's going to, because the spirit of the Lord is going to be on these missiles, man. You see that? It's the Lord, man. Let me get a quick precept. Let me get another one. Let's go ahead. This is the day that Esau dreads, man. They're trying to avoid it, but it's unavoidable. All right? This is the book. Of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 13, it reads, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow," okay, which is talking to those ICBM missiles, look, via the silos, right? His arrows, the missiles, that he shooteth a shot and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Listen, it says, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow," man. We know that Yahweh Shai is Yahweh's mighty right hand and right arm. It's Yahweh, the spirit of the Lord is going to be on these missiles. Let's read this again. For 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Okay, the ends of the world. The sun goes down in the west. Okay, so we can use our imagination regarding to the ends of the world and where that resides. All right, this is the very ends of the world, man. California will be the very, 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 very end of the world. Okay? Okay, from the East Coast to the West Coast, man. Babylon the Great, North, Central, South America, but this is the melting pot. North America is the end of the world, man. This is the target that's on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's crosshairs, man. You see? This is the target, bro. And this is why every talking point you hear when it comes to these nuclear weapons programs that these nations have, the conclusion to their successful missile is what? It can reach the West. All right? Kim Jong-un, they were jumping for joy a couple of years ago when they concocted that missile through the spirit of the Lord. I forgot the name of their missile, but it was a successful launch. And it's capable of reaching the interiors of Babylon, man. You see, that's always the talking point, because that's the spirit that the Lord has on these kings of the earth. Because this is where the Lord's going to take it there, man. There's great pending doom and judgment for this land, man. Okay? Let me see. Through the spirit. I was going to grab something, but I forgot what I was going to grab. Let me grab this article. Let me see, where did I put this? Oh, right here. So this article, right? This is from Newsbreak, right? And my brother Shakal Yasha'Allah, he sent this to the chat. All right. Now this is from Newsbreak. It's dated Let me see here. It's from 3 days ago, right? Which would have been 28th, right? And the title reads, Putin backs Venezuela with strategic treaty as Washington increases pressure. The timing couldn't have been more perfect, man. All right, where Trump's talking about, oh, we might just hit the land now. Since the water was so successful, we might just hit land now. Hey, not so fast, buddy. Because now you got Russia in the mix. You see how the Lord's doing this thing? Let's jump on down. Let's get a little bit of this. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed into law a strategic partnership treaty with Venezuela on Monday, formalizing a broad cooperation agreement between the two countries that extends across political, economic, and security domains. The Kremlin said the treaty, first signed in Moscow on May 7th, expands collaboration in energy, mining, transport, communications, and counterterrorism. The accord was ratified last week by both chambers of Russia's parliament and earlier this month by Venezuelan National Assembly, followed by President Nicolas Maduro's signature on October 7th. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Rybakov called this simultaneous ratification very important in the current situation, saying Venezuela faced unprecedented pressure, including direct military pressure from the United States. You see, so Russia's taking a strategic, warristic stance against Babylon, collaborating with Venezuela. With them collaborating with Venezuela, they're coming at Babylon like, what up, bro? And you ain't gonna judge, because think about this, man. Russia can easily supply Venezuela, man, with what they need to defend themselves. Now the tables are turned. Now the game has changed. Now the weak. Let me get the scripture real quick. Yuaki, I know where I'm going. You see, prophecy is the end all be all. You know, you got these, government officials and individuals from the elite down to their various tentacles they utilize, saying all this and saying all that. But at the end of the day, prophecy is the end all be all. You know, as we often go to in Lamentations, what's that, 3:37? Right? Who is he that saith and it cometh to pass? And the Lord commanded it not. Prophecy is the end all be all. The counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. You see? Everything else is just hot air. Joel, chapter 3. And verse 9. And it reads, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. And this is talking to the natural Gentiles, the heathen, all right, in this instance. Prepare war, okay? Prepare war. This is the time we are in. War is being prepared, okay? Look, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And ultimately, they're going to be gathered in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is the valley of Yahweh's judgment, which is over there in Saudi Arabia, man. Okay? Between the Red Sea and River Euphrates, man. That's where shit's going to pop off in its perfection. Okay? But there's going to be skirmishes everywhere, and it's going to end in, matter of fact, I've retracted my previous statement, it's going to end in its perfection with 200 million warheads being shot over here. Okay? Let me continue on. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Right, your agricultural tools. Right? Beat them into weapons of war. Look, let the weak say, I am strong, man. And this is the time that we're in. The weak is now being being put in the position, right? Where they can defend themselves, bro. And again, Russia's a major, major part of that being possible. Being that Russia has the most missiles, bro. Okay? Their artillery's thick. You see? So let's go here. Now I got this clip, right? Let me see here. That I just saw this morning from the elder Apostle Tahar. Right? Going into what China's got to say about Babylon. Because remember, China, they also have a powerful military as well. Right? And they have something called a hydrogen bomb, which they're one of only, I believe they're the only nation that has them. Right? Now check this out.
Shalom, real quick, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shabbat Shem Kodesh. Shalom to 144,000 rest of you left out there. Shalom to you all. China, Moab says Babylon will not get off the second shot. So this is some speaker, high officer in the Chinese government. China, as you can see, China's stark warning, no second shot. China's policy is very clear. So Moab will be involved in that, the War of Armageddon as well. So let me just go ahead and play it, and then I'm going to close.
It's very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences. If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated, we call it 61, because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads.
Damn.
That's one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has hydrogen bomb? China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. But that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson. If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. If you want to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. This is very serious.
Damn right.
Okay, there you go. Shalom.
All right. 60 ICBM missiles going to be held in this 60 warheads can be held in this ICBM missile, as well as a hydrogen bomb within this one ICBM. All right. And that 200 million warheads that John the Revelator heard, I'm sorry, them 200,000, right? The sound of them horses, which are the missiles that John the Revelator heard, is starting to become more and more realistic, right? Which accumulates into those 200 million warheads. It's starting to become more realistic now, huh? You see that? You see hey, the Lord's turning up. See, Babylon is now being looked at as an issue. These other nations are sick of this place, man. You see, and the Lord swore by himself that he promised, man. I believe that's Jeremiah 49, that Basra, which is the capital city of Edom, which would be likened unto America today, will be a desolation. Let me go get that. We can probably close out with that. There's so many scriptures we can grab, but we'll close out with that. We'll leave some for other brothers, because the Spirit brothers might be going into that. We're not going to be the dead dog. Just, hey, you already know. Prophecy speaking, man. What's that, Jeremiah 49? The Lord swore by himself that this will go down, man. Let me see. There it goes. Jeremiah 49. We'll read down into this a little bit. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 13. Right to the point, right? I have sworn by myself, matter of fact. Let me start at 12. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 12, and it reads, For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold. Salakia, forgive me. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 12, and it reads, For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. This is talking to Yasha Allah. All right, we weren't supposed to drink of the cup, you see, of Yahweh's vengeance, man, which revolves around captivity, all right, persecution, and shame. But in efforts to fulfill biblical prophecy, we were. Okay? But look, let's continue on. Right? Art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished. Mind you, this is talking to Edom. When you read verse 7, it says concerning Edom. Right? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. And guess what? Pursuing the Revelations 18, you're getting 2 cups. All right? That first cup that's going to be served unto you is going to come in the form of how the Lord takes you out. How he wraps up your eon. All right? And then you're going to be in the kingdom of heaven all tied up through for 1,000 years, getting completely persecuted. All right? And then after that 1,000 years, you're not going to be able to reap the benefits of the fruit of the glory of the earth, man, in the form of its paradise estate that it's going to be in. After that 1,000-year cleanup that you heathen are going to execute. Esau, you're not going to take part of that pursuing the biblical prophecy, man. Many scriptures we can get to prove that. All right, a Moabite had a vision of you not taking part of that. How about that? Balaam. But anyways, let me continue on. Verse 13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation. Again, Basra being the capital city of Edom, it tells us in Genesis 36, right, that Esau is Edom. Okay, wherever this dude kicks up his feet, right, hangs his hat, and sets up a throne, that's Edom. That's Basra, man. All right, and we know Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, has been the springboard, all right, for this man's wickedness. But now the elite want to take it to the east, you see, but none of that's going to work. But let's continue on. I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord Yahweh, that Basra should become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse. See? This is cursed land. All right? Marked for destruction, bro. And all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. Right, because this place is going to be it's coined as a burnt mountain. All right, in Jeremiah as well. I have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to the battle, bro. Okay, Babylon the Great is going to get jumped. Okay, Babylon the Great is going to get gang raped. Okay, Babylon the Great is going to get tag teamed. Okay, Babylon the Great is going to get ran through. Okay, look, let's continue on. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, right, which goes into insignificant, not important, in the back of everybody else's, in the back of everybody's dots. Look, and despised among men. And this is the shameful glory that she's relishing in right now. As it tells us in Habakkuk. Let me get a quick scripture real quick. We'll jump back over here. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. In verse 16, it reads, Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also. See that? Going back to that cup. And let thy foreskin be uncovered. You're completely exposed. All right? Your lies can't get you anywhere far no more. Your deviation, divination, deceit, witchcraft, none of it's working. The cup of the Lord's hand, the cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand, which is Yahweh Shai, shall be turned unto thee. Okay? And shameful spewing shall be on thy glory, man. All right? You don't have a legacy worth speaking about, bro. Your legacy evolves around rape, robbery, murder, culture vulture, lying, pseudoscience, deception, pedophilia, sexual immorality, right? Crime to humanity. Oh, man, we can keep going. Anyways, let's jump back. Back in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, and verse 16. Thou terribleness had deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. Right? And listen to these Edomites speak. All right? Listen to these Edomites, man, when they open up that hole in their face, man. They speak blasphemy, bro. They speak with a confidence as if they are immortal. They speak with a confidence as if they don't bleed. They speak with a confidence as if they gave themselves life. Deceived. They played themselves. They're so proud that they're playing themselves, man. And this is a true sickness when you can't see your flaw, man. When you can't see your downfall. When you don't think you got a problem and you clearly do, you know you sick. Okay? And through his reign of terror and him never being answered for it, he's in a position where he literally thinks he can't be stopped. All right? And hey, on the world stage, at least the Lord execute on behalf of these heathen, he won't be stopped. The scriptures tell us no man was able to make war with the beast. You see? So it's going to take divine intervention, all right, which is going to come through those missiles. All right, this third world war, the Lord's going to be acting on the behalf of the heathen to move Esau around. And then the heathen are going to be stopped. On top of that, after that. You see, and then Yahweh Shai is coming to execute vengeance, man. Via the host of heaven he's coming with chariot spraying concentrated heat. The real direct energy weapon technology. All right, not this play that Esau done concocted in the lab. Mimicking the technology of the heavens, man. No, we're talking, we will see. All right, real direct energy weaponry, man. Technology, man. It's going to be spraying down certain areas of the earth, man. Primarily over here in Babylon, man. Right? 2nd Esdras 13, man. Tells us how these chariots can spray laser beams, man. They can shoot lasers, man. It's about to get Star Trek out here, man. Let me continue on. Continuing on in Jeremiah 49 and verse 16. I'm going to start from the top. Thy terribleness has deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, your mind, your lob, the pride of his mind, O thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. Right. And we know Esau has a clear history of living in the Caucasus Mountains, bro. That's why they still coin themselves as Caucasians, because they know their history, but they try to hide it. They're the true cavemen. Okay? They're the true cavemen. Job 30 goes into their history. Look, that holdest the height of the hill. Right. This is the hem of the earth. All right. This is the top government, the top kingdom, the top. This is the top heathen kingdom to ever be erected. You see? Look it. That holdest the height of the hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. Right, you got your space stations, right? I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord Yahweh. See, the Lord's bringing you down. Also, here we go. The Lord's going to put a name on it. Jeremiah 49 and 17. Also, Edom. All right, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, right? Shall be a desolation. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, man. You see how this is talking to the land? Because Esau is Edom. Look. And shall hiss at all the plagues thereof, right? And those missiles are likened unto plagues, bro. Okay, I believe it's Revelation 16, that the angel had power to release the burn people with that plague, which is the missiles. Right? Let's continue on. Jeremiah 49:18, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Okay, so the Lord's likening the removal of Esau, Edom, right, and their destruction to Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities, man. Which the neighboring cities was what? Zoar, Admah, and Zeboim, if I'm not mistaken. All right, leveled, man. Leveled, man. Fire fell from heaven, bro. All right, and when you read Isaiah 34, it tells us, we'll close out with this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and this is a heavy chapter right here. I recommend you read it in the NLT, verses 1 down to about, you can read the whole thing. When you read it down to about 8 in the NLT, god damn. All right, I recommend it. Aki Yamanakwa. Read Isaiah 34 in the NLT. All right, from verses 1 on down to about 8. But you can keep going. All right, but anyways, look, we're going to go straight to the point and close out. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 5, and it reads, matter of fact, we'll do this. The Spirit just hit me. Let's go to the NLT. And we're going to get to the point, though. And I'm actually going to jump down as well. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 5 in the NLT, and then I'm going to jump down, right? And it reads, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Oh, Salaki, I'm not in the NLT. Let me switch that over. All right, here we go. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 5 in the NLT. And when my sword, which is the missiles, all right? The sword is the sword in its perfection is the missiles, bro. The modern day sword is the gun, right? And everything in between as a killing instrument that Esau has done used or weaponized as a weapon of war or death. All right, because a sword can be think about it, a syringe, man. Back in 2020, all right, hey, that juicy juice that he had forcing everybody to, that was like onto a sword, man. Okay, these GMOs, the polluted air, the contaminated water. Okay, but again, the modern day sword is the gun, perfection is the ICBM missiles, and then everything in between that can cause your deletion that Esau's done concocted. Right, anyways, Isaiah 34 and 5, but in this instance, it's talking about the ICBM missiles. All right, Isaiah 34 and 5 in the NLT. And when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon it will fall upon Edom, which is one and the same, but it will fall upon Edom, man. Okay, Edom is going to fall upon Edom. The nation I have marked for destruction, man. So these people are marked for destruction. This is why they're coined as the third parts of men. All right, the sons of perdition, the so-called white man, woman, and child. This is the reality, and they can feel it in their spirit. You got Edomites now on TikTok talking about they want to cry, but they can't. They're having dreams that they feel something in the air, something's not right, things don't feel the same. All this rah-rah through the spirit, because they can feel it. Okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about to bring that judgment upon them. You see, remember, all souls are the Lord's, man. Pursuing to Ezekiel 18. The Lord said, all souls are mine, man. That includes evil E. He's not exempt because he thinks he a God. No, he's feeling that. He's feeling the power of the Lord, bro. As demonic and dark and evil and wicked and bloodthirsty that they are. Yup. And they're feeling that. All right, that's why you see these videos on TikTok with these regular Joe six-packs, bro. So you know that the elite are feeling it. Right, we'll never know, but we'll find out in the kingdom. But you know the scriptures tell us. The scriptures tell us that great fear fell upon them, man. When they seen us rise up upon our feet after 3 days and a half, man. All right, they know what this is going into. They know what this entails. Anyways, I'm jumping down to Isaiah 34 and 8. For it is the day of the Lord's revenge. The year when Edom will be paid back for all it did to Israel. Righteous recompense is coming your way, evil E. All right, and it's going to come in the form of scourges and calamities, misery, okay? And ultimately in its perfection, World War III, a thermonuclear fallout. Is going to change this whole entire earth. All right? That's going to be the beginning of the end of Esau, man. Second Esdras, right? It tells us that Esau is the end of the world, right? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. All right? And it's going to be transitioned through this violent overthrow. Okay? And this is how it's going to play out. And we see the stage is set. Prophecy is moving. All right? Prophecy is moving on all levels. You see? And ultimately, this final stage of prophecy, on its own course, it's moving. You know, but it's going to come in its time because we know ultimately Jacob's trouble's got to come. Right? Famine. All types of shit got to pop up. Civil unrest. Right? Ultimately, that charagma's got to get mandated. Right? Revelations 13:16. Right? The C-hip, the chip, the device the size of a grain of rice. And then at the end of all that, missiles are going to fly, man. And that's going to mark the end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob. Lord willing, you beloved Akim and Akwath were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord willing, you were spiritually fed. And Lord willing, you were informed. Okay? Prophecy is moving, bro. Prophecy is moving. And if you're not paying attention, you can't see that that's the case. You would think things are stagnant. You would think, you know what I mean? That's why we got to have our minds wrapped. We got to stay wrapped into this thing, man. Don't get too caught up in music and your hobbies and all types of madness, bro. You know, be careful. You guard your spirit. You know, guard your spirit of how much you're allowing your spirit to be exposed to, man. You know, all this rap music and stuff like this. I mean, again, you know, brothers and sisters, listen to it. Or whatever other situation, you know, we've been given liberty. But be careful how much you expose your spirit to that. You see, because you can find yourself falling asleep and you don't even know it. You know, constantly bobbing your head, always into some shit. You know what I mean? Nah, bro, we got to be focused on prophecy, bro. All right? A lot of the time, we're moving around. Like, I know I speak on behalf of myself. When I'm moving around through the spirit, and I'm listening to brothers' lessons, bro. I be tapping into the spirit. Through the spirit, I mean, and each brother's been given their portion, you know, but we really want to give ourselves over to the Lord more than anything else. We really got to be paying attention, bro. You know, Jake got headphones. You know what I mean? At work, wearing headphones at work. What do you think brothers are doing? Listening to lessons, bro. Tapping into the live streams, bro. Following the church, the spirit of the church. You know? In times, you know, doing our thing on the side, you know, whatever else, you know, boom, kind of like, you know, give it a rest, give it a break. But at the end of the day, the majority of our attention has to be given to paying attention to prophecy, man. You know, and hey, at the end of the day, bro, hey, the Lord said, be on our watch. Matter of fact, let me see. I'm going to get that from the beloved brother. Yup, that's right. You know? And you got Jake that's not really in the right spirit, you know, that'll try to counter you with a talking point as if, you know, you're doing too much. But no, that's the spirit to be in. You know, the Lord said, blessed is he that when he cometh, he finds watching. You see? Let me get this from the brother and we out. Boom. Boom. I got to get back to my page. Boom. Salakia. Turn this down. All right, this is from the brother Lion of Judah 144. Hey, Shalom Amat. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatah. All right, to you and your family. Hey, and Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatham. To you, beloved Akim and Akwath on the comment board. Hey, may Yahweh Bashim Yahushai be with you. Let's see here. Let me see here. I'm going to get that in, I wanted that in Sirach, right? From the brother Lion of Judah 144. And it reads, the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 1. And it reads, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out wisdom of the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies, man. All right? And this is something that has to happen on and off camera. Right, not just at camp. At camp, you're a mighty, prophetic, spiritual warrior, you know? And then throughout the week, you're doing it sometimes, you know what I mean? Forcing yourself to do lessons, and then most of the time you're being a nigga. Nah, the spirit's going to search that out. You know, we're in the season, hey, Shift is always moving. Prophecy's moving. And only the true men of the Lord are gonna reside. You know? We're in the time of going hard for the Lord, bro. This is the last stretch. We almost home. But that's what it is, brother. Beautiful precept. And I'm gonna leave it with that. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the water. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Chodash. Hey, double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, Lord willing, you beloved Akiyam and Akwath were edified, spiritually fed, and informed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Hey, shalom.